Hello, everyone. It's a different face you're seeing. I know all of you are accustomed to seeing Mr. Ursulan's face and doing his wonderful work and beautiful work with all of you. And I think I'm just so honored and privileged to be a part of this community. So just a little bit about myself first, briefly. So my name's Anthony Fortuna. I'm currently a fourth year graduate student. I am pursuing my doctorate in school and clinical psychology. So essentially, I'm aspiring to be a licensed psychologist. And also, fun fact, I'm also a professor as well. So just to let you guys know a little bit about how I came into contact with Ursulan. So fun fact, Ursulan and I attended the same high school, Severian High School. So a shout out to every one of my X-Men out there who are friends with Ursulan. I miss the X so much, and I just can't help but reflect on my age. It's so Ursulan and I, not to age you, Ursulan, so sorry to burst your bubble. Ursulan and I graduated in 2013, so it's just crazy to even think about and reflect about, all the time that has passed. So just to get you guys a little bit about how I reconnected with Ursulan. So like all of you, I noticed a lot of the content that Ursulan was putting out there in terms of fitness and just overall his journey into not only becoming a licensed nutritionist and personal trainer, but also helping all of you. And so I was experiencing my own difficulties related to my weight, as I'm sure it's not uncommon because of everything that's going on related to COVID. There's been a significant weight gain on my end, just to get you guys a little bit of knowledge. So personally, I really take pride of my health before, and I think fitness in my health has just been incredibly instrumental to not only my self-esteem and confidence. Just a little bit of a background for me. I wrestled at Severian High School, and also I'm currently a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So that's something, especially, and I want to admit to everyone, because I think there's a lot of you that need this, especially now. And I think as a aspiring psychologist, I'm just realizing my greater impact, and I think just overall greater responsibility to not only encourage others to seek mental health treatment, but also encourage others to share those things that, maybe that's buried within themselves. But essentially I wanted to share that being fit and being healthy is just uniquely tied to my own self-esteem as someone who's been bullied when they were younger, and essentially doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and wrestling was just something that overall shaped my identity, and just being in shape was so closely tied to that. And I mean, I'm not going to say I'm necessarily a bodybuilder or anything like that, but just knowing that I'm fit, I'm healthy, it just really goes to say just how much really impacts your self-confidence. So fast forward over to COVID, as all of you know, many of the gyms were closed down. So, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was something that I wasn't able to have access to. And in addition, I also want to say, as a graduate student, for anyone who is friends with Ursulan who is currently in graduate school, just know that I feel your pain. But also, attending graduate school is it is what they tell us. It is a full-time job. As I mentioned a little bit briefly, I'm a adjunct professor. I'm also a therapist who sees clients both in terms of my responsibilities, completing my externship responsibilities, and also at school as well. I can't really say enough. There's a lot on my plate, and exercise, especially these past 4 years, has gone a little bit by the wayside. And just to tell you, I think I was lucky to go to jiu-jitsu once or even twice a week. And I think completing Ursulan's program just really put into perspective how important fitness is, and just overall, I think the feasibility and accessibility in terms of making this part of my lifestyle. So I'm noticing just how long I've been rambling here, but just to get to the good stuff, so I let you guys know a little bit about how I met Ursulan way back then. And I guess what drove me to complete this program is, I don't know if I mentioned before, but, everything related to the coronavirus pandemic, and also overall, with the pandemic, I was 187 pounds. And this is coming from someone, and I think I wanna just acknowledge that and just express that, especially to you guys who follow Ursulan, is weight and body image is something that significantly impacts a person, not only in terms of self-esteem, confidence, but from a mental health standpoint. So, and I think I just want to put my story out to you guys, if it helps in any way, just in terms of, and I think it's important, this is an important disclaimer to put out there. I want to say, right, I was 187 pounds and, pushing it to 200 pounds. I want to say that in itself is not a quote unquote bad number. And I really want to encourage everyone, if you are interested in going through this fitness journey or just overall doing something for your own health, I think the importance of finding your own reasons to do this. So the reason why I wanted to lose weight wasn't necessarily to get down to a number that society deemed as, perfect or fit. I think for me, I really wanted to do it for my own reasons. To be fit and healthy going forward, because I think as someone who's 25 years old, is the same age as Ursulan, or I don't know if Ursulan's a little bit older than me, maybe a year older, I don't know, but essentially I think it really puts it into perspective in terms of how important it is to be healthy, especially as a psychologist and someone, I think at some point, right, I'm going to graduate, graduate school, and I'm going to have my own job and, hopefully wife, kids and all that. And I think incorporating health is such an important aspect in terms of your daily life. But back to my original point, in terms of why I wanted to do this, I wanted to do it for my own reasons, as I mentioned there. And also, as a therapist, I really, especially this year, I really found that I was telling my clients to do certain things such as exercise or taking care of themselves. But then I realized that I wasn't doing those same things. And I think as an aspiring psychologist who's responsible for, and I think I want to stress this in the field of psychology, adhering to the standard of ethics and beneficence and making sure that people are okay, I think it behooves me to do some of that introspective work on my own. And that's sort of what drove me, and what drove me to contact Ursulan. And I think something that made me comfortable in contacting him was I was already his friend in high school, and I think, and I think in terms of feasibility, accessibility, because it is a lot of work, looking for your own personal trainer. So I saw Ursulan doing his wonderful content, and I said, you know what, let's do it. And Ursulan, I just, knowing him from my, high school days, I already knew he was someone that I could trust, and I knew already that he was a wonderful guy, and that sort of drove me to Ursulan. And in terms of how he is, and I must say, Ursulan is a astute individual. He is very conscientious. He's very caring and really sympathetic. And that's something else that I knew about him back in high school. So I had no problem in terms of reaching out to him. So a little bit about maybe, after I contacted him, very, very high, eye for detail. And actually, it reminded me of my own work as a therapist. So some of the questions that he asked me, such as, okay, why now? And that's something that I often ask my own patients. And, it was nice being in the other, side of the chair, as you will, right? On the other side of things, because not only am I able to get a perspective at how it is to be a client, but also kind of humbles you a little bit. So he asked me, why now? And obviously, as I detailed in this video, I sort of told him about this, and he couldn't be any more understanding. He couldn't be any more, and I think I was very intimidated to do this, because I think when you start to, put your money where your mouth is, and, you try to make this step, there's so many uncertainties. Like, for example, I'm very grateful and thankful to say that I was 187 when I started with Urslan, and now I'm 173, and I can't do math very quickly. I think that's about 14 pounds or so. I know maybe in the comments you'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I just couldn't be any more happy with my work with Urslan. And I must say, as a psychologist, I'm very happy to know Urslan. Urslan definitely has my stamp of approval. And honestly, when I have, I see my own clients now, and I think I have no problem with recommending any of my patients to Urslan, because I've personally experienced how it is to work with him. So, and I know if you reach out to him, he's very flexible. So Urslan gets my stamp of approval. Thank you, everyone.